Hi, I'm Nicola Spurling. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about what transgender people do for work, specifically what I do for work, but I'm going to be touching on how my experience differs from transgender people's experiences in general and how there are similarities. This is a topic that was requested as part of my Let's Chat video where I asked all of you for suggestions on topics for future videos. So my first job is with a renovation company. This is my main job, my 9 to 5, Monday to Friday job, and I am considered a project coordinator, but my job encompasses a lot more than that. What I do is I manage projects, I also do construction work hands-on, I do drafting work, I do social media management, I submit permits, I do some drafting, I do some demo work, I drive commercial vehicles. Basically anything that we need done within the company I am able to take care of for the most part. I also run my own construction company and I do this on the side. I've ramped up work in the past for this company when I haven't had employment, and right now because I'm working for a company, I'm doing it just part-time here and there. This company is called NES Design and Construction. It's a company I started back in 2011 and I do a lot of the same work that I do for my current main job, which would be project management, drafting, submitting permits, doing hands-on construction work, all of the kind of work that I'd mentioned previously. But in addition to those responsibilities, I'm also having to take care of a lot of bookkeeping, advertising, and all of the kinds of things that come along with running your own business. I also have a contract position with CBC Radio, which is the Canadian Broadcast Corporation. This is the government-funded media outlet in Canada, and I have a slot for 20 minutes on Monday mornings for local radio where I go on air with an NDP representative and a BC Liberal Party representative. Those are two of the main parties in British Columbia, and I'm the BC Green Party representative, which is a third party here in British Columbia. We will go on air and talk about all of the different things that are happening in politics in the province. So those are my three main paid gigs. I also do a significant amount of volunteer work. I'm a director at large on the board of Vancouver Pride, where I chair the outreach committee, and I'm the president of Tri-Cities Pride, which is a pride society that I founded myself in 2017, along with a fantastic group of people that made up our original board. That has been going strong for the last couple of years, and we have a really dedicated team now, which is fantastic. I am also the Lower Mainland representative on the BC Green Party's Provincial Council. This is a council of people that work together to try to figure out the direction that the party is going to go in, and we work very closely with our 3 elected officials. I also do a number of other things that fill my time which may or may not be considered work-related. I'm in the process of camperizing my van, which I'm also using as a construction vehicle for work. I am working on a motorcycle that I just purchased. I'm looking at buying a second apartment to renovate and rent out. I'm making these YouTube videos for all of you, which I'm trying to do every week now. I try to renovate my current apartment whenever possible. That's the apartment that I'm in right now recording. I create these drawings that you can see behind me here. I'm playing soccer, I'm skiing, and if I have time I try to see some friends, and I try to fit in time with friends at least once a week outside of my sports where I can just have a games night or something that's relaxing that's going to help me to recharge for all of the work that I have coming up. Now, I'm very fortunate to be able to keep myself this busy with work, especially paid work, because that's unfortunately not the case for a lot of trans people. The amount of people that are unemployed or underemployed or underpaid within the trans community is extremely high. It's unfortunately a massive barrier to being able to transition, to being able to live a comfortable life. When I was in my transition, I ended up having to take a short-term leave from work for a procedure that I had done. And when I came back to work, I'd found that they'd actually taken a lot of the work and given it to another person, and rather than giving it back to me when I returned, I was short on work. And after a few months, they said, wow, we just don't have enough work for you, so we're getting rid of you. And that's, I think, how it works in a lot of cases where they're able to get rid of employees without saying that it's because they're trans, but it's related to the fact that they're trans. And this was shortly after I'd run for provincial politics, so I had already been been outed nationally. There's another video on my channel about that. And having been outed publicly, it was very challenging for me to be able to find work. And again, I addressed this in my other video, but what I was able to do is use this company that I'd already set up to go out on my own and do some construction work for a year before I found the job that I'm in right now. And I was able to find the job that I'm in right now because of the social media presence that I'd built up from having been outed. So it was an uncomfortable experience that I had to go through, but it was also a rewarding experience in that I was able to gain some employment from it. Not every trans person is that lucky. A lot of people either have to live on very little amounts of money or have to survive in other ways, and a lot of trans people, as you may know from statistics, will turn to sex work, whether by choice or because they're forced into it due to discrimination in the workplace. I have absolutely no judgment for people who choose the path of sex work, but to be forced into it is an extremely unfortunate situation to be in, and something that we really need to change and make sure that people aren't underemployed, unemployed just for being trans. I work so hard at all of these different things because I really love what I do, but also I think there's a certain element of fear of having it all taken away from me because I know that's the case for so many trans people, and I want to value what I have, but at the same time I need to learn to be able to take some more breaks. So right now, for instance, I'm on a 2-week break. It's the longest break that I've had in I don't even know how long. It's been an extremely long time since I've had a break like this. This is a fantastic opportunity for me to be able to recharge, and one that doesn't come around very often. I'm also hoping to be able to take a break in a few months and go to Japan. We'll see if that works out, because I haven't taken a vacation since 2012. So to sort of recap this, there is no set way that trans people find work, and there's no set type of work that trans people will do. Trans people are everywhere, all around you, whether you realize it or not, but the types of work that we're able to get are limited due to the fact that we're trans, and that often forces us to take on jobs such as sex work. Not something that I've done, but something that a lot of people that I know have done in order to survive. And again, some people do this by choice, but I also know that a lot of trans people are forced into it because of the fact that they can't find employment or they're not paid despite having high levels of education. And that's really what I want to raise some awareness around today, is the fact that there is still so much discrimination in the workforce for trans people, and that we need to acknowledge this so that we can address it and move forward and make sure that this doesn't happen again. It's easy enough to say, well, I can file a human rights complaint if an employer discriminates against me, but it's a lot harder to actually prove that discrimination's taken place. And I think through education, we can both determine when discrimination is taking place and also hopefully convince employers that trans people are worth hiring, because we bring just as much value to a company as anyone else. And I think we also need to provide more opportunities for people in general to be able to work for themselves. This is one of the reasons that I've been pushing for something called basic income, which provides everyone with a set amount of money that they can live off of so that they can get by when they don't have work. But it gives them the freedom to go out and create the kinds of jobs that we need. I know this is just a really short recap of what it is that I do. This is the holiday season, so I'm trying to keep it sort of short and concise because I know that people's attentions are stretched in so many different ways. But I just wanted to briefly touch on this before everyone goes back to work in January, and I hope you have a fantastic New Year. Happy New Year to all of you. I know that I'm going to be having a very low-key games night with some friends, and that's exactly what I want my New Year's to be. I'm not a big party animal, but I do want to spend some time with friends and try to make the most of this holiday season and this vacation that I have. If you're interested in some of the work that I'm doing, you want to learn a little bit more, I have a website that's a big work in progress. There's a lot that needs to be done on it. Please don't judge me for it, but I'll put the link to it in the description. Maybe you live in the Lower Mainland and you want to take advantage of some of the services that I offer, or maybe you just want to learn a little bit more about what I do. That's going to be there for you to click on. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button and hit that bell icon so that you get notified every time I post. And if you have ideas for future videos that you would be interested in watching, please leave those in the comments down below. And until next time, have a great day.